Imagine it. You wake up. The date is September 14th, 2025. Something feels off. It's too quiet. The gentle hum of the refrigerator is gone. The glowing numbers of your digital clock are dark. You flick a light switch. Nothing happens. You try another. Still nothing. A profound, unsettling silence has descended, a silence not heard in over a century. You look out your window. The streetlights are out. The city is a black, hushed void. This isn't a local power outage. This is something else entirely, something global. The very lifeblood of our civilization has vanished. In this moment, you are experiencing the beginning of a new era, an era without electricity. So what is this mysterious force that we lost? What is electricity? It's simply the flow of tiny particles called electrons. For billions of years it lived only in nature. It flashed across the sky as lightning. It sparked from a shuffling of feet on a rug, a raw, untamed power of the cosmos. It took us a long time to understand it, to harness it, to build our world on its invisible back. We learned to generate it by spinning magnets inside coils of wire, by using the power of waterfalls, by burning ancient fuels, by splitting the very atom. Once we captured this lightning in a wire, it could do almost anything. We use it to create light. We use it to create heat. We use it to power motors. Most importantly, we use it to think. Server farms and fiber optics form a planetary-scale brain. Electricity is the stream of consciousness carrying our thoughts and data. In the very first hours of the Great Unplugging, the consequences would be immediate and stark. Your home, once a sanctuary of comfort, would become a cold, dark box. The first problem would be water. Municipal water systems rely on massive electric pumps. Without them, the taps would run dry within hours. No showers, no flushing toilets, no drinking water. Suddenly, finding a clean source of water becomes the single most important task of your day. Step outside, and the city would be unrecognizable. The silent, motionless traffic lights would lead to instant gridlock. Cars, one by one, run out of gas. Gas stations cannot pump fuel without electricity. The veins of our transportation network would clog and then collapse. People would be stranded. Emergency services would be crippled. Police, firefighters, ambulances. The orderly hum of the metropolis would be replaced by a cacophony of confusion, followed by a desperate, unnerving silence. The vertical world of our cities would become a trap. Skyscrapers would be rendered useless. Elevators would stop, trapping people inside. People forced to navigate dozens of flights of stairs in total darkness. The loss of electricity would be a death blow to our collective mind. All of our digital knowledge, the sum total of human discovery, art, history, stored on servers around the globe, would be instantly inaccessible. The internet, our planetary library, would vanish. Every website, every online encyclopedia, every scientific paper, every digital book photo, song, gone. It would be like the Library of Alexandria burning down on a global scale all at once. The cloud would evaporate, leaving only scattered knowledge in our heads and fragile physical books. Scientific progress would screech to a halt. Modern science is utterly dependent on electricity. Particle accelerators probe the universe. They are massive electromagnets, radio telescopes, listen to the cosmos. They run on electricity. Supercomputers that model climate change, design new medicines, decode the human genome, would be inert silicon without current. Every laboratory, every research institute, every university, rendered impotent, tools turned into silent sculptures. Communication, the thing that binds us, thrown back centuries. Perhaps the most terrifying and immediate impact of a powerless world would be seen in our hospitals. Modern medicine is a symphony of electrical devices. Ventilators that breathe for the critically ill would stop. Heart monitors would fall silent. Dialysis machines would cease their rhythmic pumping. Surgical suites would lose electric lights. Diagnostic tools would go dark. Cauterizing instruments would be useless. Surgical rooms would become dark and dangerous places. Sterile, controlled environments would become breeding grounds for chaos. Within hours, hospitals would be overwhelmed. Patients on life support would face a grim fate. Basic diagnostics would be lost. No X-rays, no CT scans, no MRI machines. Doctors would have only sight, only hearing, only touch. Medicine from over 150 years ago. Vast pharmacies would become finite, irreplaceable stockpiles as factories fall silent. Sterile procedure would be a forgotten luxury. Autoclaves would be useless. Infection risk would surge. A simple cut could become a death sentence. So, how would we spend our days? The very concept of work would be redefined. The vast majority of modern jobs would simply cease to exist. Office work would vanish, IT jobs would vanish, finance jobs would vanish, digital marketing would vanish, telecommunications would vanish, the global economy would evaporate, value would shift to tangible skills and physical goods. Can you farm? Can you build a shelter? Can you purify water? Can you mend clothes? Those skills would become the most sought-after professions. Society would become agrarian and craft-based. Our relationship with food would transform. Supermarkets stocked from around the world would end, refrigeration would stop working, long-haul transport would halt, food would be local and seasonal again. People would need to grow their own food. People would need to hunt. People would need to fish. People would need to preserve harvests without electricity. Canning preserved food, smoking preserved food, salting preserved food, drying preserved food. To understand this new world, we need only look back at our own history. For the vast majority of human existence, we lived without electricity. Before the late 19th century, life was governed by the sun and the seasons. Work began at sunrise and ended at sunset. The world became dark and quiet at night, lit only by firelight, candlelight, or moonlight. This is our natural state, the world we evolved in. Our dependence on electricity is a very, very recent development. It is a blip, a brilliant and powerful one, but a blip nonetheless. Consider a simple task: washing clothes. Today we place them in a machine, press a button, and electricity does the work. Before the electric age, it was an arduous all-day chore. Water had to be hauled from a well or river, heated over a fire, and clothes were scrubbed by hand on a washboard, then wrung out and hung to dry. A task that takes us minutes today required hours of back-breaking labor. This simple comparison reveals the immense gift of physical work that electricity has given us, freeing up our time and energy for other pursuits, for thought, for art, for science. Communication provides another stark contrast. Today you can have a face-to-face conversation with someone on the other side of the planet, instantly. In the midst of the human chaos, the planet itself would begin to change. The immediate effect would be a dramatic reduction in pollution. With no power plants burning coal, oil, natural gas, the constant emission of carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases into the atmosphere would cease. The smog that chokes our major cities would dissipate within days, revealing brilliantly clear skies and a canopy of stars unseen by city dwellers for a century. The air would become cleaner. The Earth's waterways would also begin a slow process of healing. Without industrial factories and mechanized farms, water quality would improve. Marine ecosystems, stressed by pollution and warming waters, might get a chance to recover. However, this isn't a simple, happy story. The sudden shutdown of nuclear power plants would pose a terrifying risk. Without electricity to power their cooling systems, many could overheat and melt down, releasing radioactive material and creating vast, uninhabitable exclusion zones. The impact on wildlife would be complex. Reduced human activity, noise pollution, and light pollution would allow many species to reclaim habitats. The oceans, quieted from shipping and sonar, would become a different acoustic world for whales and dolphins. On the other hand, desperate humans would turn to nature for survival. Deforestation, overhunting, and overfishing could decimate local populations. In the long term, the planet's climate would eventually begin to stabilize. But this environmental gain would come at an unimaginable cost to human life and civilization. Humanity would not simply give up. We are a resilient and adaptable species. After the initial shock and chaos, survivors would begin to rebuild. Not the world they lost, but a new one based on the realities of a powerless existence. Communities would become small, local, and interdependent. People would pool their skills and resources. Blacksmith, carpenter, farmer, weaver, storyteller. Cooperation, not competition, would be the key to survival. We would relearn the forgotten arts of self-sufficiency. Innovation would not die, but it would change its focus. Our best minds would design more efficient wood-burning stoves, better hand-cranked water pumps, improved methods of crop rotation, a renaissance of mechanical and steam power, a new age of clockwork and clever gears. Old books on pre-electric technology become incredibly valuable. We would look to the past for a blueprint for the future. This scenario holds a powerful lesson. It forces us to confront our dependence on a fragile system, not a prediction but a cautionary tale.